Talking to you about winning the war for the modern customer. What a fantastic start to the afternoon we had with the drums. Everyone enjoy that? And then a glimpse into the future with Dion. And thump back to earth with me with a bit of reality. What I'm actually going to do is in 20 minutes give you 20 winning insights and practical solutions, whether you're local or global. You up for that? Yeah? Can't hear you. You're well done. Yes, thank you. Okay, I've been worrying about customers for 50 years now. I was born into retailing, and I used to look outside that window there and wonder why some customers were coming in and some weren't. Genuinely. It kind of lit a passion in me, saying, why do customers do what they do? And ever since, it's burned equally as brightly. When I sold my businesses, I decided that what I'd actually do is set off around the world about 10 years ago and interview the world's most successful retail business people. Try and understand what was going on. I write about it, and I actually managed to meet most of them face to face. It was absolutely fascinating. Today I'm going to talk to you from my latest book about winners, and it's actually about trying to understand what the walkers do versus the talkers, because there are a lot of talkers out there about what and how to succeed in retail. So winning demands a really thoughtful approach to life.
Emma. Huh? Emma. Emma.
Every day it's getting on my nerves.
Emma.
Oh, I'm
Emma. Emma.
Okay, right. We got you engaged now, so yep, it's okay. Let's get a bit of practicality going around here. Right. If I had to have one slide and one slide only, it would be that emotion is now wholly reframing what success looks like. And that's moved on significantly over the last 10 years. Winners understand what emotion controls. Now, everyone knows what that is, don't they? Well, actually, it's a slice through the top of a head, looking down on the brain. And then on the outside, you've got what's called the neocortex, the bit that looks like spaghetti. And actually, what that does is enables complex thought and controls language. That's what's working overtime with me at the moment on stage. But the older part of the brain, the bit right in the very middle, it's called the limbic system, and that actually controls emotions and feelings and then controls our behavior. Emotion controls our behavior. So actually, which bit do we want to reach when we're communicating with customers, either online or offline, on social media or whatever? Limbic. Exactly. It controls behavior. And winners are increasingly being emotionally driven. Well, everyone kind of now knows that. But the real winners are the ones that understand that if that's the case, the most important people in the business are the ones that work for the business. They're your most important customers, your internal customers, because if they don't get it, whether it's logistics, whether it's writing algorithms, or whether it's face-to-face with a customer, if they don't get this whole idea of emotion, how can you expect your customers to? Yeah? And also, winners are just wholly and totally customer obsessed. They actually take their level of engagement to an obsessive level. I can't tell you the sort of people. If I had time, I would, but I can't today. Just the sort of detail that these people go into. And by the way, not one of them ever mentioned me in Australia, in America, wherever, Europe, wherever it is. None of them talked about the competitors. They knew that they were going on, but they were actually ploughing their own particular route and didn't give a damn what was going on elsewhere because they knew that they were going to succeed. And of course, I'm always asked, is there a retail gene, Martin, for successful retailer? And the answer is yes. They all want to be different. That's what they want. They're driven to be different. But what the winners really understand is the hardest part about being different is actually letting go of the old ways in a business. The whole lecture associated with that one thing alone in leadership. I call it mindset changes. Letting go of the normal. And there's also, I hear a lot of say, the customer's got a lot, or the customer's in charge now, there's real power. The reality is they've always been had the power because they're the ones doing the buying. But now they have choice. And with choice comes power. That's the reason why the winning organizations view themselves as being in the business of being chosen first and foremost, and then understanding they have an expertise in the electronics, have an expertise in bread, fashion, food, finance, whatever it is. But it reorientates the importance of the power of the customer by acknowledging that they are in the business of being chosen. And then, so I often get people say to me, yeah, well, all this marketing emotion stuff's a bit fluffy, isn't it? It's not like out there out on the cutting edge. The reality of the matter is that every successful business needs to create and grow an emotional edge. Have you got an emotional edge? I went to Texas to this company, and they said to me, we sell empty boxes. How can you possibly have an emotional edge when you specialize in selling empty boxes? The Container Store, very admired business. And they turned around and said, oh, that's easy, Martin. We're helping people organize their lives. My wife would love them because she likes to file my socks. She is a very organized person. So immediately understand what a good decision looks like and the sort of people that you should be employing. And winners, ironically, use cold clinical data to help build warm individual relationships. Really ironic. But it's the winners that understand it's only part of the equation. It's not the answer. Because the winners totally understand, and this is going to get you right there, customers are 100% human beings. Yeah. Yeah, strange, isn't it? You didn't know that, did you? And most of them are women, by the way. Woo! They account for 85% of consumer spending on the globe. 60% of boys' toys. 70% influence on male fashions. Who hasn't heard those immortal words? You can take those shoes back, Martin. They're black. Winners love emotional triggers. They just love using these emotional triggers. I love using. One of my gods is a chap called Dan Pink. And he was called into this shopping mall in America. And they said, you know what, Dan, we can't get anyone to stop parking in the reserved parking bays. We've tried clamping, we've tried fining, we even parked a lorry so they couldn't get out. We thought, that was learning. They still carried on doing it. So Dan turned around to them and said, what you need to do is you need to get personal and you need to get emotional. Get to the limbic part of the brain to affect behavior. So I said, what should we do? They said, take that sign down, put this one up. Think of me, keep it free. Think of me, keep it free. And I saw this on National Geographic on crowd control. So people were driving in during this test. They were driving in going, oh no, and they were reversing out like that. Not one person parked in a reserved parking bay for the 2-week test. And what happened when we put the signs back up again? People started parking there again within 2 days. Incredibly. Winners understand we're all hardwired to love easy. Has any one of you ever said, would you mind just making it a bit more complicated for me? That's a bit difficult. I need it a bit more difficult. You just don't do that as a customer. You don't do that as a colleague. And the problem is, it's only the winners that understand what easy is made of. Easy, because most people confuse simple with easy, an emotional component, plus a positive outcome from keeping it simple that actually means it's easy. Simply go and stand there and wait for 3 hours is not what people want in a shop. Okay? Just because it's simple to do doesn't make it easy to do. And the winners make everything easy to do. Take Amazon. Have you seen these dash buttons? So you stick one on your washing machine, pour the shopping bag, and if you've finished the soap powder, you just press that button and it gets delivered in a couple of days. You can have these things stuck all everywhere around the house, beer, bedroom cabinets, whatever it is. So what I find is that the winners, every day, in every way, everyone is empowered to help try and make life easier. Not rocket science, this. It might be a bit of brain science, but it's not rocket science, is it? Is it? Do you audit easy every day in every way in your business? Do you shop your own shops and go, that's not easy, we could make that easy? Do you actually listen to the people on the shop floor and say, is there anything that people really get antsy about? No. Most companies don't. But it's so easy. Winners know service is simply not good enough. Service is actually just a series of well-performed functions, and robots could do that.
What is it?
It's our new customer tracking system. It has your account number and barcode. It speeds you right through the line.
Now what?
That line over there.
Feel like banks are getting a bit impersonal? Try Washington Mutual. We're building our bank around you because we never forget it's your money.
What's a holdup?
I hate it when these things don't scan.
Washington Mutual.
Because that's the trouble with technology. Okay, last couple of points to highlight to you. Winners understand service plus emotion equals this thing called customer care. Yeah? So I much prefer this expression of customer care because it actually creates an imperative to make sure there's emotion associated with everything you do for the customers. Winners, in fact, view customer care as a product. They develop and innovate their care structures, their care programs, as if they were products. It's very easy. We have so much fun in our workshops when we start actually giving people permission to think like this. Just by the way, you should also ban the word cascade, because that suggests coming down to the workforce. It should be an equal process of discovery. Winners are shifting their emotional centers of gravity away from a centric process where it's all about head office and control and command and that sort of stuff, towards the customer contact point, including digital. So if you want a pictorial mindset, which is what I need, not being that bright, right? I need to imagine it's like the businesses now are reaching out. They're not pulling in an information and all this sort of stuff. They're reaching out and wrapping their customers, using emotion, empowered by data, in order to entice their customers. So you see, that's how emotion can have such a profound effect on your businesses. Final thought. I've always believed if you carry on doing the same thing, nothing different ever happens. I started off by saying, you've actually got to be different, you've got to let go, you've got to be 100% emotional. And when I was interviewing all these chief executives around the world and these experts, trying to understand where success comes from, I said to them, tell me, if you had your time all over again, What would you do differently? I thought I was going to get some really great insights here. He said, that's simple, Martin. 94% of them said, wish we'd done it sooner. So, my challenge to the audience is, you've got a great brand that you're working with. You've learnt what's happening in the future. You've learnt some practical tips about how emotion is now cutting a swathe through the losers. What are you waiting for? You promise me that you'll make the trip worthwhile and go back and do something different? Yeah? Absolutely. And this guy on the streets did something different as well.
You're on WR 107. Good afternoon, Dr. Jones, Stevenson, come on. Patience. We're going to be taking the comedy hour. We've got Joey Vega live and exclusive.
Thank you very much. Great working with you. Go for it.